Okay, let's jump right into this explainer. Today, we're doing something I find absolutely fascinating. We are going to step directly into the shoes of a financial crime analyst. We're looking at one of the most sprawling, complex, transnational crime syndicates of our era, the Prince Group, led by its founder, Chin Zi. Now, when you hear about cybercrime, it's so easy to picture a lone hacker in a dark basement, right? But the reality, it's far more corporate and honestly, far more sinister. In this session, we're going to see exactly how massive physical scam syndicates are completely dismantled by following invisible digital trails. So here is our investigative playbook for today. We'll be covering the scam mega case, on-chain tracking, physical compounds, corporate shells, global enforcement, and finally, we'll look at crypto's fatal flaw. Let's get to it. All right, part 1, the scam mega case, focusing on the Prince Group and Chen Zi. To really wrap our heads around this syndicate, we have to look at the sheer speed of their downfall. The geopolitical takedown was literally breathtaking. In October 2025, the U.S. Department of Justice drops an absolute hammer. We're talking sweeping criminal indictments and economic sanctions. And then, just months later, in January 2026, founder Chen Zi is arrested in Cambodia, completely stripped of his citizenship, and extradited to China. But you gotta ask, what provoked such a massive multinational strike in the first place? Well, it's the horrific reality of their operations. It is absolutely crucial to understand that behind the glowing crypto charts and digital wallets are brutal physical crimes. We are talking transnational pig butchering scams, massive money laundering, and most horrifyingly, human trafficking and forced labor inside physical scam parks. This isn't just numbers on a screen, it's a massive human tragedy fueled by a ruthless corporate structure. Moving to part 2, on-chain tracking. So, how do we even begin to untangle a web this large when criminals are convinced they're safe behind international borders? Well, they made one huge, irreversible error, using cryptocurrency. Our most potent weapon here is blockchain forensics. The syndicate relied on crypto to hide their loot, assuming it was totally untraceable. But here's the ultimate irony, right? Blockchains are permanent public ledgers. As analysts, we literally turn their own financial plumbing into a map, completely shattering their illusion of anonymity. Let's break down how we actually trace stolen funds straight up to a cartel's master treasury. Step 1. Suspicious activity reports, or SARs, from defrauded U.S. and European victims act as our initial trigger. Step 2. We deploy heavy-hitting forensic software, tools like Chainalysis and Elliptic, to follow the digital breadcrumbs. And then step 3, this is the real breakthrough. We watch hundreds of scattered scam wallets, funneling those stolen funds into massive, centralized, organization-level wallets. Boom, we found the digital vault. Which brings us to part 3, targeting physical compounds. We found the digital treasury, sure, but a digital wallet doesn't have wrists you can handcuff. We must map those funds back to the physical world. And this is where the virtual illusion of a decentralized ghost completely falls apart. Factory-scale scam compounds operating in places like Cambodia, they require physical trackable infrastructure. Internet service providers mean traceable IP addresses. Phone networks leave logs. Trafficked humans leave intelligence trails, witness accounts, and escapee reports. Suddenly, those abstract digital anomalies match exact real-world geographic coordinates.
And this leads us to a really pivotal question for any investigation of this scale. I want you to really think about this. How exactly does a string of alphanumeric digital wallet addresses lead an investigator straight to the polished, legitimate-looking corporate headquarters of a massive entity like the Prince Group? How do we cross that complex bridge from the blockchain to the boardroom?
That takes us to part 4, cracking corporate shells. You see, criminals operating at a billion-dollar scale can't just hide that kind of cash under a mattress. They desperately need to wash it and integrate it into the legitimate economy. Scam parks do not exist in a vacuum. They hide behind legal companies for operational cover. So we trace the capital flowing out of those centralized crypto wallets directly into real estate purchases and supposedly legitimate resorts. By meticulously mapping public corporate registry data to the physical scam park locations, the Prince Group's quote-unquote legal business assets are undeniably handcuffed to funds stolen from victims around the world. It's a game changer. And to do that, it takes a massive multi-layered matrix of methods. We don't just use crypto tracking. Blockchain forensics breaks the false anonymity. Traditional finance tracking catches the real-world money handlers and the bank accounts. Corporate tracking exposes the organizational core, the legal shells, and the CEOs. And witness accounts from trafficked victims reveal the brutal internal operations. Every single tool in this kit provides a non-negotiable piece of the puzzle.
On to part 5, the global enforcement net.
Once that puzzle is fully assembled and the evidence is secured, our silent analysis triggers a very loud, very public international response. We call this the squeeze. Because the victims, the digital money flows, and the shell companies crossed multiple borders, the response absolutely had to be global. The U.S. DOJ drops a criminal indictment and sweeping economic sanctions. This is literally a death sentence for a transnational syndicate. Global assets freeze instantly. Completely cut off from the global financial system, the criminals can no longer move their money, they can't pay for local political protection, and they can't even run their daily operations. With the financial arteries completely severed, local authorities swoop in. The Cambodian government arrests Chen Zi, strips his citizenship, and extradites him to China to face trial. It is the ultimate proof that while data analysis sets the stage, taking down a syndicate of this magnitude requires unprecedented, coordinated geopolitical willpower. And finally, part 6, crypto's fatal flaw. What does the meteoric rise and catastrophic fall of the Prince Group actually teach us about financial crime in the digital age? Well, there's a dual reality to crypto crime. Yes, for sure, cryptocurrency allowed these criminals to scale their operations and move stolen money globally at lightning speed. It made the crime infinitely bigger. But it absolutely did not make them invisible. Blockchains are permanent, immutable public ledgers. Eventually, those stolen funds must touch centralized exchanges, and those exchanges are legally bound to hand over user identities to law enforcement.
To quote a fundamental reality in our line of work, when illicit funds enter the real economy or regulated financial systems to be spent or cashed out, they expose their criminal trajectory. The fiat off-ramp is the absolute Achilles heel of every single crypto syndicate. The exact moment they try to turn digital tokens into real-world cash to buy their mansions, build their compounds, and fund their extravagant lifestyles, that's the moment they step directly into the crosshairs of global law enforcement.
So, as you reflect on this massive investigation, I want to leave you with one final thought. If the blockchain permanently records every single transaction forever, does true digital anonymity actually exist? Or is every secret, every hidden empire just a temporary illusion, patiently waiting for the right analysts to come along, decode it, and completely shatter it? Thanks for joining me on this explainer. Stay curious out there.